Everyone and welcome. So let's talk about something huge happening in tech right now. It's this big shift away from just clicks and transactions toward building actual meaningful relationships online. And the key to it all is this fascinating new idea, an emotional intelligence layer.
I mean, have you ever felt completely misunderstood online? You know what I'm talking about, right? You're fighting with a chatbot that just keeps looping, or a website keeps throwing these totally random ads at you. It is so frustrating because it just feels like the tech on the other side doesn't get you at all.
And really, that's the heart of the problem. It's what I call the digital disconnect. See, our tech today is pretty amazing at tracking the what you clicked, what you bought, but it's totally blind to the why you're even on that site in the first place, how you're feeling, and what you actually need in that moment.
So why does this happen? Well, it's because most of our digital tools, our websites, our apps, they're just built to follow a script. They simulate a process, they don't try to understand a person. We just become data points. And that's why we get stuck in these generic, kind of robotic loops that make us feel invisible. And let's be honest, pretty annoyed.
Okay, but what if there was a better way? What if we could actually change that? Imagine giving our digital world a much-needed emotional upgrade. That's exactly where this new kind of technology comes into play, designed to fix that exact problem. So what are we talking about here? This emotional intelligence layer, it's not just about making a smarter chatbot. No, this is a system that's built from the ground up to actually model and understand human feelings and intentions. It's the key that unlocks the why behind what we do online, giving technology the context it's always been missing. And this right here, this is the core idea. It's the difference between simple automation and what we can call relationship intelligence. We're not just trying to make a process faster anymore. We're trying to build real, actual intelligence about the relationship between a brand and you, the user. It's a total game changer in how we think about this stuff. All right, so this all sounds great, but how does it actually work? Let's get under the hood a little bit. This whole emotional intelligence layer is built on four main components. Four pillars that all work together to create this, more human-like understanding. So here they are. You've got the emotional engine, which is all about figuring out feelings. Then there's the persona system, which changes up the communication style. The memory manager, which makes sure the conversation has continuity, so no more repeating yourself. And finally, outcome guidance, which kind of ties it all together to get to the right result. Each piece is super important, so let's take them one by one. First up, the emotional engine. And this isn't just some tech company making stuff up, okay? This is grounded in actual psychological research. It's based on something called Plutchik's theory of emotion. It's basically a well-established map of human feelings, which gives the system a solid scientific framework for understanding what you're actually expressing. Okay, next up is the persona system. And honestly, this is where things get really cool. The system basically creates different personalities to match different types of users. And this chart is a perfect example. A busy professional, they want things straight to the point. A student, they're looking for something more energetic and maybe a big deal. A senior, they're going to appreciate a warmer, more patient tone. It means one brand can essentially speak different languages to connect with everyone.
And this slide shows you just how powerful that is. Check this out. You ask a pretty tricky question, right? Is choosing this brand a political choice? Well, each persona gets a totally different tailored answer. The professional gets a no-nonsense practical reply, the student gets an answer that speaks to their values and ethics, and the senior, they get a simple, straightforward response. It's the same company, but it's speaking a language that each individual person can actually hear and trust.
All right, number 3 is the memory manager. And this thing solves one of the most maddening things about being online, repeating yourself over and over. This part acts like the system's brain. It's long-term memory. It remembers who you are and what you've talked about before, even if you switch from your laptop to your phone. It just makes the whole conversation feel seamless and like it's actually respecting your time. You feel heard, you feel valued.
So that's what it's like for the user, which is awesome. But what's in it for the business? Well, this whole system feeds into an incredibly powerful dashboard that gives companies a completely new way to see and understand their customer relationships.
And let me be clear, this is not your typical analytics report. We're not just talking about clicks and bounce rates here. This dashboard is designed to tell the story of the customer relationship. It takes all that messy, raw data from conversations and turns it into a clear picture of how customers are feeling, what they really want, and how that feeling of trust is changing.
The real genius here is that it makes feelings actionable. The system can pick up on an emotion like joy or anger and translate it into a clear business signal. So joy means people are engaged and motivated. Anger is a huge red flag that something is broken or frustrating in the customer's journey. It lets a company stop guessing and start reacting to how their customers actually feel in real time. And a visual like this just makes it so clear. At a glance, a business can take the emotional pulse of its entire user base. So in this example, you see lots of trust and joy. That's fantastic. But that little slice of fear, that tells you exactly where you need to focus your attention right now.
And really, that brings us to the whole point of all this tech. We're not just trying to build a fancier website or a slicker chatbot. The real mission here is to fundamentally rebuild trust in the digital world.
You know, this quote just nails it. This isn't automation anymore. It's relationship intelligence. And that is the absolute foundation for trust in what's called the consent economy. Think about it. We have to willingly give our time and our data. And the only way a company earns that is by building real trust, which comes from truly understanding and respecting us as people.
Because at the end of the day, that's the ultimate payoff, isn't it? When we stop just tracking clicks and start having actual, meaningful conversations, we create digital spaces where people feel seen. And when a person feels recognized, understood, and valued, well, that's how you build a real relationship that actually lasts.
So, let me leave you with this final thought to chew on. For decades, we've had to adapt to the clumsy limitations of our technology. But now, as technology is finally starting to adapt to us, to our feelings, our intentions, our humanity, the big question is this. If technology can finally understand us, can we finally trust it